Hello and welcome to today's Living Word. I'm Dwayne Matz. We're continuing in the book of Isaiah today. I'm going to talk about a couple of fulfilled prophecies and just pray that when you see these prophecies in their fulfillment, I would pray that it would help strengthen your faith in the sovereignty of our God. We pick it up in Isaiah 7:14. Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Curds and honey he shall eat, that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good. For before the child shall know to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land that you dread will be forsaken by both her kings. That's Isaiah 7:14 through 16. And this is where prophecy at times seems to be a little bit muddled, as the line between distant future events and immediate future events gets a little blurry. It's easy to see how this prophecy concerns the distant arrival of Jesus as the Messiah. But then in verse 16, we see a more immediate prophecy in the offing. Now, it's helpful to know that Isaiah had brought his son along with him to this meeting with King Ahaz, and the son's presence serves as an object lesson for the king if he would just open his eyes. We read about it in Isaiah 7:3. Then the Lord said to Isaiah, "Go out now to meet Ahaz, you and Shear-Jashub, your son, at the end of the aqueduct from the upper pool on the highway to the fuller's field." Now, Shear-Jashub in the Hebrew language means a remnant shall return. So here's Isaiah with his son. I could just imagine the introduction. "Hey, hi, King Ahaz. I'd like you to meet my son. A remnant shall return." Hint, hint, hint. I mean, the very name of the boy, whom God had instructed Isaiah to bring along, speaks of consolation to King Ahaz. It reminds him it's not necessary to get outside help to deal with these two kings that are threatening Jerusalem. God has placed this object lesson, Shear-Jashub, before the king and says before this kid reaches adolescence, these two kings will be history. And you know what? History tells us that it was so. Fulfilled prophecies. There's really way too many to mention in this short devotion, but allow these several prophecies that we've talked about here today to speak to you concerning the sovereignty of God, and thereby strengthening your faith. Bow your knee to the one who holds history in his hand. We don't call it his story for nothing. I'm Dwayne Matz, and that's today's Living Word.